All right, thanks, Michael. State police say that synthetic drugs played a major role in a Montmorency County double murder. This morning, we're looking into what makes these drugs so dangerous. The investigation centers around two homes in Montmorency Township near Hillman. Kyle Bouldry is now charged with killing Trevor Hubbard and Keith Atkinson. Troopers say that Bouldry stabbed Hubbard to death. They say he then crossed the road and attacked Keith Atkinson, Deborah Wells, and Jeffrey Bauer. Atkinson died from the beating. Troopers believe that Bouldry and Hubbard were experimenting with synthetic drugs. Benzie County Sheriff Ted Schendel says when someone is on synthetic drugs, it's not only dangerous for them, but anyone around them.
We're very concerned about it simply because it gives unhuman-like strength to these individuals. It just alters their brain chemistry, and it just turns them into unrational people that will do just about anything.
Bouldry will be back in court later this month.
We have an update this morning on a Charlevoix County man accused of sex crimes. He will be back in court for a second trial. Albert Grams Jr. was arrested in February for breaking into an East Jordan home and sexually assaulting a woman for 2 hours. He also stopped her from calling 911. His trial began this week but was determined a mistrial. The Charlevoix County prosecutor says a juror was removed from the trial when they found out the juror had contact with a witness. Graham's new trial is set for September. In this update, the man charged with hitting and killing 5 bicyclists in Kalamazoo has been found competent to stand trial. Police reported that Charles Pickett Jr. had taken pain pills and muscle relaxers less than 2 hours before the June 7th crash. At yesterday's hearing, the State Center for Forensic Psychiatry cleared him to stand trial. He is charged with 5 counts of second-degree murder, 4 counts of reckless driving causing impairment, and driving while intoxicated causing death. Pickett will be in court next month.
It's 5:03 now, Michigan. This morning, students at a northern Michigan high school are devastated after the school made the decision to cancel their varsity football season. The Benzie County Central Public Schools made the tough decision earlier this week. A team needs at least 11 players to field a full team. The varsity team already had a small roster due to the number of players who graduated last year, and after the first week of their season, they lost even more players to injuries. Their plan was to have junior varsity players help fill in the gaps, but after last Friday's game, the coach says that it was obvious it was physically too much for the players.
The moments that every one of us that had played the game through a senior year, you know, we had those memories, and they were kind of robbed from that with this decision, and the decision was in the best interest of those seniors.
The cancellation is only for this season, and the coach predicts that they won't have the same problem next year.
In continuing coverage of the 2016 presidential election, Republican nominee Donald Trump stopped in Arizona and Mexico, where he made a much-anticipated speech on immigration. Donald Trump told supporters in Phoenix, Arizona, he will triple the number of deportation officers, and there will be no amnesty for immigrants who are in the United States illegally. Trump says he plans to start with criminals. Then any other illegal immigrants looking to stay in America will have one route, and that's to return home.
These illegal workers draw much more out from the system than they can ever possibly pay back. And they're hurting a lot of our people that cannot get jobs under any circumstances.
Trump also made a visit to Mexico where he spoke with the president about his plans to build a wall. He says a discussion on payment for this proposed wall has not been had yet, but Mexico's president says he has made it clear that his country will not pay for that wall.
And on the Democratic side, rival candidate Hillary Clinton wasted no time weighing in on Trump's border crossing.
And it certainly takes more than trying to make up for a year of insults and insinuations by dropping in on our neighbors for a few hours and then flying home again. That is not how it works.
Lately, the Democratic nominee has been busy working on fundraising. Come September 11th, the Clinton campaign will take a pause to remember the tragic terror attack that happened 15 years ago. A Clinton aide says Hillary and her running mate, Tim Kaine, will stop operations and will not air ads on that day. New on Michigan this morning, the first case of the Zika virus has been found in Malaysia. The country's prime minister says a woman who traveled to Singapore has been diagnosed with the first case of the mosquito-borne disease in Kuala Lumpur. Health officials say the woman tested positive after she got a rash 1 week after she returned from her trip. Her daughter was also with her and tested positive for Zika. It's 5:06 now, Michigan this morning. Not only does it take a special person to be a bus driver, it takes a flexible schedule.
That's why Traverse City Area Public Schools is offering combination full-time jobs for drivers. New on Michigan this morning, 9 and 10's Adora Namiga Day is live in the newsroom with more on the outreach to find more drivers. Good morning, Adora.
Good morning, Cody and Courtney. Bus drivers typically work 2 hours in the morning and then 2 hours in the afternoon. That gap between drives can be difficult if they need another job. Now TCAPS is hoping to attract more drivers by offering ways to close that gap.
When I came in, they were only offering 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day wasn't enough. It's hard to go find a part-time job in the middle of the day for 4 hours.
Now Robin Grierson is able to work noon duty and be a full-time employee for TCAPS. The district pushed the opportunity this year to attract more drivers.
The new drivers especially, they love it. They love being able to have a full-time job as opposed to part-time and fill those middle hours.
They're offering drivers other positions that need to be filled at TCAPS, like maintenance and custodial work.
We have what we call sub-drivers that'll come in maybe Monday and Tuesday or Friday and Thursday or whatever. Well, we don't have to call upon them as much, so that gives us a more consistent driver on the route.
The district is up about 7 drivers this year over last year, with 99 drivers total. About a third of the drivers are taking advantage of the new opportunity.
Which is much better with discipline and knowing the routes, and it's much safer to have a consistent driver on it every day.
Filling the gap is something TCAPS will continue offering to prospective bus drivers down the road.
Whatever it takes to bring in more drivers, since they're at a very high demand for school bus drivers. So whatever it takes to bring in qualified and safe drivers is what we're going to try to move on to.
TCAPS is preparing for the first day of school next Tuesday, and the new drivers are trained and ready to go. Live in the newsroom, I'm Adora Namiga Day from Michigan this morning.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, and it covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
5:08 now on Michigan this morning, and still to come this half hour. Temperatures cool off for the first day of September. Coming up in your full forecast of 5:11, Michael breaks down what to expect for your holiday weekend.
At 5:20, I'll be at the touchscreen showing off some of your favorite summer getaway throwback Thursdays. And did the Tigers hold on to take home another win over the White Sox? Find out in sports at 5:24.